So speaking of incessant bitching.
Oh, good.
I'm talking about Star Wars theory, and I hate doing this because I find him so supremely unlikable that it's hard for me to watch him say things about things where I'm just like, oh God, like someone was telling me about some of this stuff and I was like, can you just tell me what he said instead of me having, but I went and listened to it and he's talking on a podcast and I don't want to make our entire, like, I don't want to make our entire thing about Star Wars theory because I just like, like, what's the point? But he was like on a podcast. He was something other, but it claims to have been like blacklisted by Disney, right? So if you're a famous content creator, which no one can argue that he is.
He has reach.
Yes. Like you get some perks from that. Like you get to go to movie premieres, like Star Wars premieres for free.
Sure, when fucking Disney Senpai notices you and they send you things ahead of time and you get to go to premieres and you get
Star
the video
Wars
game week
Celebration.
ahead of time
right,
and whatnot.
Right, Star Wars Celebration and all this other shit. So now he has to pay out of pocket for all that stuff. And the reason he is giving is that it's because he criticizes Disney. And not that he would ever watch this, but that's a fucking lie. That's not the reason he got. But first of all, this is not a surprise and he deserved to be blacklisted from Disney. I would have done the same thing. It's not because we criticize. I feel like we don't froth at the mouth about The Last Jedi in every fucking episode.
I mean, like 10 minutes ago, we were laughing at them for fucking up Galactic Star Cruise.
Like it's like when it's deserved, I'll be like, fuck that. So look, this is why he got blacklisted, because he associates himself with fucking geeks and gamers. Like legit did a fucking live stream with Alex Jones. All these fucking Ben Shapiro wannabe alpha males.
Was he ever on the list that actually got free stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he had it and then he didn't. So that's why he's upset about it or whatever. And the thing that really kind of cracks me up about Star Wars theory is that he doesn't have the balls to actually just come out and say what he thinks about stuff. So he was in this interview, he used a dog whistle. Like he was like, I was really I was covering Star Wars stuff, but then they started pushing an agenda. So I started focusing on the comics, but then they started pushing an agenda. And it's like, instead of pushing an agenda, why don't you just say they had a lesbian character and that pissed me off. And then they had, they have people of color who are characters, and there's a character in one of the comics that goes by they, them. And that triggers me because I'm a fucking snowflake. Why don't you just say that? Because
it would at least be true.
Yeah. And you wouldn't come off as such a, I better not say that. It's like, he's such a fucking coward about what he actually believes. It's like he makes some attempt to kind of like not get in trouble over shit like that. But when you sit there and have live streams with geeks and gamers who are famously misogynistic and homophobic and transphobic, and they're terrible human trash, and you're sitting there laughing with them over their bullshit, like, of course you're going to get like lumped in with them, and you fucking deserve to get blacklisted from Star Wars. It's insane. And like, he learned early that hate and complaining gets clicks, right? Because like, you go back, and I'm almost positive this doesn't exist anymore. I'm sure that he deleted it. When I was subbed to Star Wars Theory, when Last Jedi first came out, because I'm pretty sure you got to see it early or whatever, he had some really great things to say about it. And then he kind of saw what was happening with like the content creators who were getting a lot of traffic. And then that disappeared, and all he did was shit on Star Wars. Right. So like, and during the same interview, it was like, I have an inside source that says George Lucas isn't happy about Star Wars, which it's okay. I'll grant
George Lucas doesn't give a fuck about Star Wars, dude.
Let's grant the premise. Let's grant the premise. So fucking what? He doesn't own Star Wars anymore. Yeah. And if you were doing the job you're doing now in the year 1999, when Phantom Menace came out, or in 1970s or 1981 or whatever, when Empire Strikes Back came out, you would have been bitching about those movies, right? Because that gets traffic. Mm-hmm. So all this, I'm loyal to George Lucas bullshit. It's so transparently stupid and just bullshit. And it was the other thing, I was talking to someone about how like, I'm pretty convinced that Star Wars Theory is like the most casual Star Wars fan ever. Like, all he knows about Star Wars are like the articles that he read from Wikipedia to make some of his earlier videos.
Oh no.
And like, if you were to go, you guys want a good fucking Star Wars content creator, go check out Star Wars Explained. That dude is an expert on Star Wars and is a like a good guy. He's fucking great. And I guarantee you, in a fight between Star Wars Theory and Star Wars Explained, he'd fucking mow right over him. And it's just like this whole like alpha male incel Joe Rogan wannabe bullshit that he's pulling. It just makes me really want to like. I better not say that either. But like, we could have more subs today if we did the whole hate bait thing.
No.
Right. And I think that we can make it work particularly well, because what I find is that people who are really on this train aren't funny. Right. It's like a fucking Doomcock who like does his videos with his mask and shit. Yeah. Like, they take themselves so seriously and there's just no humor in it. And I think we could do it really well and make it actually funny, but we don't, because we're not terrible fucking human beings. Yeah. And it's like, I make plenty of money in my real job, so I do this shit for free. Right. So like, if I had the choice between having a smaller group of subs and fellow Star Wars fans, and a huge number of human trash, I would pick the smaller number. So like, I guess fuck you, Star Wars Theory. That's all I'm saying. The whole thing. Just the whole thing. Yeah. Shut the fuck up.